Hello everyone, I hope you all are well. Welcome back to my channel. This is your August 2019 Salt Scrying reading. From left to right, you will choose one plate that resonates most with you. Use your intuition, your gut, whatever the very first one that caught your eye was. 1, we have moonstone on table salt. 2, we have Hawaiian black salt with fluorite. And 3, we have Epsom salt with sandstone. Give you a moment to choose, or you can pause the video. All right, plate number 1. It's moonstone with the table salt. Let me just remove that stone. What messages does group number 1 need to hear most right now? Spirit, allow me to channel the messages for this group of what they need to hear right now for August 2019. Okay, I'm seeing some potential career changes or movement. I think some of you may need to either begin looking for or are moving to a different job because you were unhappy at your prior employer, or you were undervalued, underpaid, something along that lines. Maybe overworked. I see a lot of very hard work going on here. Some financial struggles, which seem to be resolving soon. There is some new financial flow and new energy coming in related to finances, potentially through a windfall or just the blessing of better paid employment or more hours or something you were seeking to improve your abundance. I see a focus on physical health, and in the way of paying more attention to your daily schedules, your routines, your diet, your workout, beginning something like that, thinking about eating better, seeking medical care for a kind of minor, I don't see anything major. It would be kind of more of a minor chronic condition that you're just going to have addressed, maybe begin treatment for, start feeling better, start some kind of exercise routine, or just paying better attention to your physical body. Now this is a weird thing to see, but I do see some like home improvement, some kind of, quite specifically, something involving a garden, or I don't know if it's maybe fall planting in your future, but you will be gifted some items to plant from somebody else, and that is right here. That's like coming in. I'm seeing the hands giving over, and the flower on the plate is poking through there specifically. I see 3 people, but I also see the energy moving away from that. I don't know if some of you guys are going to be experiencing some sort of a shakeup or breakup in a relationship, or potentially a friendship, an employment group, like I said earlier. Doesn't necessarily have to be, a cheating scenario where, you find out that someone else is involved in your relationship. And they do see that energy moving out, whatever it is. It could be a loss of a friendship or a dissipation. I see it going out, away. Seems most like some of you will have a relationship breakup because some news. I see energy incoming to the 3, and then the dissipation of the 3. So it's like news coming in and kind of disturbing this peaceful group here, and the energy moving outward, and the parties are going off on their own. And it looks like these 2 come together and one goes off on its own. some cleaning up loose ends is necessary because we ended up with some salt off in the edges of the plate. You're definitely going to need to probably tie up some things that started before the retrograde. Once we get to the end of the retrograde, after the new moon at the end of July, is a great time to kind of like wrap up some things that maybe you've had ongoing, tie up the loose ends, go back and look at some details that maybe were overlooked at some point. For some of you, I see a real estate transaction, some kind of property deal. Could be house or just land, but I am seeing some kind of real estate transaction for some people. And it seems like moving, it has the energy and the vibration of going to somewhere nicer, more pleasant surroundings. Like if you didn't enjoy living in the city, maybe it's more of a country setting or something prettier than that. And that does tie in then to this planting that I'm seeing. And I see that more toward the end of August because I got fall with that it's, a little farther away. Let me see if there's anything else. Please pay attention to making time to give thanks to your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, that kind of stuff. Stay connected to your spirituality because I do see a lot of busy energy here. I see potential heartbreak. It doesn't look like, for whom I'm reading for, it doesn't look like you're super busted up about it. Like maybe you did already know this and it's just coming to resolution, the tying up of the loose ends. But I do see take some time for reflection, for prayer, for meditation, for self-care, take a spiritual bath, whatever it is that you do to kind of stay grounded, stay focused, stay centered, and stay in touch with your spirituality and your guides. Okay, guys, that is what I see for your plate for August 2019. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you next month. I'm going to be moving on to Group 2 soon. Hello and welcome to Group 2. Group 2 is the Hawaiian black salt, just as a reminder. I know the plate's not super visible. It's really not important. I just need to be able to see it. You got your fluorite here. Already the fluorite is making me resonate on the notion that you guys are definitely needing a change. Let me get in tune and stir the salt around. What does Group 2 need to know? What are the most important messages for Group 2? Help show me and deliver the message to them. Sensing a lot of high energy. This is for August 2019. Yes, tons of energy. We ended up with a cyclone pattern. There's a lot of new beginnings coming in is what I see. These could be, I think, focused in the personal life and relationships. It could even be friendships. It's not necessarily love relationships, but I do see just a lot of fresh energy coming in. It's like you guys are coming out of a period of time of kind of depression, anxiety, struggling, I think, for some of you with a loved one having an ailment, an illness, being in the hospital, extended care, rehab, something like that. I do possibly get suffering yourself or someone else with addictions, and maybe all of these things at once. That there may have been quite a few endings in your life lately, and some of you are actually trying to rebuild. I see a really good clearing, though, of some of the oppressive energies that may have been lingering around for, I'm getting 6 months or longer. So this is a big clearing, and finally the pure new energy is coming in, but you do have a lot of loose ends, items to tend to. You kind of just need to get back in the game. I'm not even going to say it's tying up loose ends. This is like you have kind of been out of commission with kind of being stuck in your head maybe and not actually getting things done. A lot of thinking about stuff, but not actually doing it, which isn't a bad thing. We've been in the retrograde. It's really not terrible, but now is the time. There's a lot of good energy coming in for you to get into action again and start taking action. This is probably for one person, but I see a pregnancy that has had some complications and some issues. Everybody's concerned about the outcome. Is mom and baby going to end up okay? It's kind of been a bit of a nail biter with just recurrent kind of one issue after the other, or one severe issue throughout. And the baby comes a bit too early, but is fine, and everything works out well. And I'm also sensing, I see a beautiful biracial baby that's very healthy. Maybe has to spend a little time in the hospital, but ends up just fine. It's probably for like one person. So sorry to the rest of you, but I did see that right here and I wanted to pass that message on. Doesn't have to be biracial, but I just saw this adorable baby, brown skin and dark hair. Some of you might be moving house, I see here, and be very careful to make sure that you document the condition of the place that you are leaving out of, especially if you're a renter or something. I see the need to pay attention to the details over here, make sure that you don't end up in a situation where it is your word versus theirs. Probably take some photos with your phone of how well the place was cleaned when you left, that everything was gone, that everything is in good working order, that kind of thing. Get receipts just in case. You probably won't need them, but I do see that it's a possibility that some of you may encounter some kind of issue with that, and you don't want to have to like lose a deposit or, you know, whatever. Yeah, I'm also seeing that for some of you, even though all this new energy is coming in, it's to help you take action towards treatment or towards maybe exploring therapy or some new, I mean, it could be yoga, it could be you take up Tai Chi, you might decide to start, you know, doing some calisthenics at home or something, but something to help you alleviate anxiety and stress, some kind of an outlet. That might be talking to somebody, and it might be exercise, it might be art, but I do see that that would be important for this group to have an outlet. It's going to be needed by the end of August. And I think it's mostly just because there's so much busy energy. You may have a little trouble sleeping this month at certain times because there's just this whirlwind of kind of changes that aren't necessarily going to be negative. It's all positive energy coming in for you. Let me see, are there any further messages for this group? I got pay attention to blood pressure. I was shown a blood pressure cuff. That might be for a couple of you. This could also be pertaining to the family member or loved one that had been in the hospital. It's going to be very key. Okay, that's been your reading for Group 2 for August 2019. Hopefully it resonated, and if it doesn't, you know, lots of great readers here on YouTube. And I hope you guys have a great month, and I hope to see you back next month. Bye. Hi, Group 3. You guys are Group 3 with the Sandstone. Okay, already I'm getting some very happy, peaceful energy. Okay, what does Group 3 need to know? What are the messages that they need to hear most for August 2019? For those that were led to pick Plate 3, Group 3, Sandstone. Okay, dancing. I don't know who that's going to be important to. That might be one of you guys. I do see dancing, and I see immediately someone maybe getting a new pet, and they are overjoyed about it. And I think that you had them picked out, from the time that they were born, and you've been waiting, for this. I see specifically a puppy to be, ready to bring home, or you've had your eye on one. Now, some of you, this animal is going to come to you, and you're going to automatically have a connection or an affinity to this animal, and they end up your pet. But it's a lot of joy and playfulness. I'm seeing something with children. It's a very joyous event. Like I said, dancing, animals, some kind of a party. Maybe there's a get-together, a wedding, a birthday, something like that you guys will be enjoying in August. Now, also be careful driving. That's the message that I got channeled. Is to use care in the second and third week in driving, because there could be a near miss or a run-in where if you're not paying attention quite well enough, it could be injuries as far as some kind of an accident. This could be driving, this could be somewhere at work. Just be very mindful, operating equipment, driving, that kind of thing. It did seem to be a car to me. Watch out for problems with electronics, and most specifically, I was seeing phones for this particular group. Just check that your insurances are up to date. Probably, if you're watching this at the end of July, maybe check on the insurances, make sure everything's up to date. Kind of, might be a good idea, because I see that something could happen. They might go on the fritz, and you may not even necessarily know why. Like, you may just wake up one day and your phone is just not working, and you don't know what happened to it. That's the type of thing that I just saw. It's probably for like one of you, but doesn't hurt to check into it. Now, also, I see some of you taking up some kind of new hobby. And of all the weird things I got, like roller hockey and also spinning. Like, two things came into mind that some of you guys may decide to begin some new activity. Now, softball just came up. I think a lot of you guys are going to be looking for something new to do. Or your children are going to be starting something like that. That is the bigger message, because now the kids came into the picture with these things. So potentially kids are starting back hockey, softball, or they're joining for the first time is what I got, mostly. And they should have a lot of happiness and success with that, the vast majority. I see shopping, but not like back to school or anything. This has to do more with like your own wardrobe, preparing for some event, something that, maybe this goes along with the party that I was seeing and the joyous vibe. Maybe you're going to be dress shopping or suit shopping or something for something that you kind of need to dress up for. But I see the shopping, and I see this as like a fun trip with others. That there's something enjoyable about it. It's kind of like a day out, maybe a girl's day, or a day with family, or a trip out with mom or dad, because you guys are going to this event in common. And it might even be, I'm seeing vacations, cabins, but going around town where you're at and kind of exploring the shops and things. And that's done with, most specifically, I'm seeing like a male loved one. He seems older. Let's see, are there any other messages? in line with the technology issues, electronics issues, do a checkup on your vehicles, that kind of stuff. Make sure that you're keeping up on maintenance, that you did not forget something. If you're going to be going long distances, kind of have it checked over by a mechanic, or you do your best to look for defects of any kind, tires, that kind of stuff. But yeah, just a lot of really good, joyous, awesome summertime vibes, really. Like just a lot of good times with friends and, you know, just very peaceful, calm times at home. It seems like financial energies look good, may not be overly abundant, but very stable. Um, just a steady trickle of good energies coming in, nice balance, a very nice flow. So that, you guys had the best reading of the three. I hope that this resonates with some of you. I know it won't resonate with everyone. That has been your August 2019 reading, and I hope to see you guys back next month, and I hope this month treats you wonderfully. Thanks. Bye.